to Roundup, a big story from the week. Former FBI Director James Comey will return to Capitol Hill this week to testify in a public hearing. It will be his first public appearance since his firing by President Trump this month. The chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee hopes Comey's statements will be able to clarify recent events that have been reported. This comes after President Trump reportedly told Russians the former FBI director is, quote, a nut job, and firing him relieved pressure. Meanwhile, things are heating up with the investigation that might have cost Comey his job. Some believe that investigation might prevent Comey from spilling the beans on everything he knows. So the Comey and President Trump relationship, our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page and on Twitter. You can tweet me at Sally Mack, Fox 26. Joining us live now in the studio is our senior legal analyst, Chris Tridico, Democratic media consultant, Mustafa Tamiz, and Republican strategist and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. Good morning again.
Good morning.
All right, so where do we go from here now? Do we expect to hear from him this week?
Well, I keep hearing varying stories, and I heard yesterday afternoon that they're actually going to move it past the holiday, and so maybe they'll wait until the president gets back from his trip and not try to steal his thunder, maybe what the Republicans are thinking. This President Trump versus James Comey has been brewing for a very long time. The president now has what he didn't want, a special counsel, Robert Mueller, taking over the investigation. And I think, Jackie Ball, the president could have escaped a special counsel had he kept his mouth shut. The special counsel is in office because of President Trump.
Well, you have Democrats like Maxine Waters and Feinstein saying that there is no evidence that the president has committed a crime. If Comey knows of anything that the president did do, if Comey knows of any crime that the president did make or commit, and he didn't report it or act on it, that's against the law, because there's a provision in our law that says someone in his position, if they know of a crime, especially of this nature that we're investigating, has been committed, he has to act on it and report it immediately.
He was investigating.
So the fact that Democrats are now coming out and saying there is no evidence of any crime committed that our president committed is very telling of how this investigation is going to go.
FBI investigations take years. I've represented people that they take 5 years before they indict them. So this investigation was in its infancy.
Yeah, it's a weak thing with FBI agents investigating you, and they're coming out saying, well, there's no evidence. Well, that's why they're investigating you. And every single day, more and more concrete things are coming out that puts the president in a box. Look, this is an incredible testament to the American political system and American governing system that there are checks and balances. And if President Trump didn't like James Comey, he's just got James Comey 2.0 with Robert Mueller.
Had he fired him right after he took office, this would not have been the big explosion that it was.
The issue is his intent, right? And so people keep giving him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't mean it, he didn't mean it, he didn't mean it. And one thing we've learned from this president, he says what he means. He went on his promises, and he's been trying to deliver it one by one, even though they're misguided.
I do agree with your statement. I mean, if he would have fired him right away, Democrats were saying he needs to be fired.
And you've got the Justice
Republicans were saying he needs to be fired. And the timing of his firing, everyone, when he didn't fire him, were wondering, why didn't he fire him?
Let me go to Sally real quick. She's monitoring our social media.
All right, yeah, we're hearing from Ben this morning. Good morning to you, Ben. He says Comey needed to go because he loved being part of the political scenes too much. Dems and Republicans wanted him out. Another one from Chris. He says this has nothing to do with being a Democrat or a Republican. This is about a president that's possibly in cahoots with Putin and Russia. Stop putting your party affiliation over your nation. This one from President Vicente Fox. He says, so Donald Trump, James Comey's agreed to testify in the Senate. Is the pressure back on or what? We'll know after May 29th. And then from the president, he says, with all of the illegal acts that took place in the Clinton campaign and Obama administration, there was never a special counsel appointed rather. And once again, he says this is the single greatest witch hunt of a politician in American history.
Well, I don't want to relitigate the Clinton, 8 years of Clinton White House, but maybe you forgot that he had a special prosecutor for 8 years. But let's not relitigate that. And he was impeached and had a removal trial. But other than that, no, he didn't have any problems.
That's the problem with the president. He doesn't know the history of the country that he governs. Now, I'm not even talking about from the 1800s. He doesn't know the history in modern times.
But I want to get back to something. Karl Rove said on Fox News news the other day that the New York Times report that he said to the Russians, I fired him because it took a lot of heat off of me, is the biggest story of the day and bigger than anything else.
Absolutely, because it goes to intention. The entire premise that runs around obstruction of justice is he intended to obstruct justice, and he just admitted that.
Karl Rove's no liberal. We know that. What about that?
The fact that the president got rid of him because there was low morale in the FBI. People no longer...
Not according to the FBI agents.
People no longer... I know quite a few FBI agents. I work with quite a few FBI agents. Quite a few people no longer felt that Comey was doing the job that he was supposed to do.
That's not what the president told the Russians. He said it took heat off of me. That's the problem.
How do we know what the president told?
That's what he said. That's read out on the White House.
Denying it.
But we don't know. No one was there. The president hasn't said that.
There's a White House readout that this is based on.
That's not what he said.
The Russians have said.
So why are we just assuming this is what?
There's a White House readout that says that after every meeting in the Oval Office, the White House puts out a readout, which is the document that says what are the notes from the meeting. That is what's been leaked, and that's what's been out there.
Harvard University just released a poll and said that 90% of the coverage on the president is negative and untrue.
Because he's doing it. Because he's putting out negative news.
Hang on, we got less than 30 seconds left. Hang on, we got less than 30 seconds left. A report came out just yesterday that said this White House is the most negatively covered in American history. Why?
Because he's using Twitter every single day to put out falsehoods, and that's the issue with it. When a president has a trouble with the truth, then people are going to cover him and try to uncover what he's saying wrong, and that's what's going on.
You have many operatives who make a lot of money off of spreading political narratives, and our president, by tweeting, is going directly to the people. He's taking it out of their pockets, and when he says he's draining the swamp, he is getting rid of a lot of these operatives, and they don't like it.
We'll see where that goes. We're going to leave it
Alternative
right there.
facts.
We'll be back in the next hour with two really good topics.
All right. Great discussion. We appreciate it, guys.